Okay, just kind of reading through it, it says, find five numbers in arithmetic progression such that their sum is 25. Well, if I were to write that down, let me just write the five numbers down for you. And I'm going to, kind of write it down where it makes sense to me. So I'm going to say x, and then x plus d, x plus 2d, x plus 3d. And it's easy to write down five of the numbers, by the way. That's why I'm writing them down. X plus 4d. And that's fairly easy to write down, by the way, where they say their sum shall be 25. So if you add those together, let me just kind of quickly do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There would be five x's. And let's count up the d's. And it's really kind of a very simple counting problem. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 d's. And what does that equal? That equals 25. All right? So what do you get over here? Let's see if I can figure that out. I'm going to divide by 5. So x plus 2d is equal to 5. All right, I got a grasp of that. And, having a grasp of something doesn't mean you're going to be able to solve the problem, but I got a grasp of it. All right, so I'm going to get my eraser out, and I'm pretty happy I got that first part done. Now, granted, I can come back and reconstruct this because I understood what I read, but I'm kind of at this level now. All right, but here's a problem for me. They start talking about what the sum of the squares, and so I got to start thinking about this because squaring these things could be incredibly difficult to deal with. All right, but anyway, let me just remind you that you have numbers here: x plus d, x plus 2d, x plus 3d, and x plus 4d, right? Here's the problem though. I'm seeing this is the number 5. And that's a pretty interesting thing right now, isn't it? So the question is, if I did that, and, I'm still going up by d, right? I can write the sequence down a little differently now. I still go up by d. So what's the next term going to be? 5 plus d. And the next term would be 5 plus 2d. What's the term before 5? It would be 5 minus d. And the term before that would be 5 minus 2d. All right? What do they tell me over there? They tell me that if I squared those numbers, what would I get? I would get 135. Well, you know what? Squaring these numbers really doesn't look that bad. All right, so I want to write them down one at a time. All right, so I'm gonna square this guy. 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 I'm gonna square this guy over here. Let's just do one at a time. I'm gonna write them down each one separately. So 25, and then it would be, let's see, minus 20d. I'm just doing the first guy, plus 4d squared. All right, that one's done. Let's do the next one. 25, let's see, that would be minus 10d. There's nice symmetry to this problem as well, plus d squared. Let's do the next one. What's that going to be? A simple 25. What's the next one going to be? 25 plus 10d plus d squared. So I'm kind of checking them off one at a time, just writing them down. And it's not too bad. What do you get next? 25 plus 20d plus d squared. And if you added all these things together, right, let's just do it one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 125. But what's nice about these things? These things are just simply disappearing. And then what he left off with, you know what, I made a mistake over here, it's 4. I add those together, you would get 10d squared. Okay, here comes my next problem. What does that equal as sum of the squares? It equals 135. All right, I got troubles. I really mean that. I got to figure this out now, and And squares really do present a problem for me. And why is that? There could be two different answers. Let's hope. What do you get over here? 10d squared is equal to 10. Well, isn't that convenient? D squared is equal to 1. So D would equal to plus or minus 1. So I really have two separate issues at this point. And what I want to do is I want to carefully write them down now. So I'm going to say if D were 1, let's see what we get if D were 1. And I want to point out what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. I'm going to write that sequence down now. And what's the sequence going to be? 3, right? Because 5 minus 2d is 3, right? And 5 minus 1 is 4. 5, 6, 7. Let's say d were minus 1, though. What would you get? Well, what would you get? Let's write this down. 7. Again, I'm using this over here. Let's see, 6, 5, 4, 3. Get two separate, all right? Again, someone says, what was your question? Find 5 numbers in arithmetic progression such that their sum shall be 25. I think we really find the same set of numbers. What is it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. That's the 5 numbers. Thank you.